Hello and welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. I'm Colby Sherwin, and alongside me are three talented hosts: the president of the Justin Jefferson Fan Club, Zach Jones; a man who would like to send Matt Canada back to the CFL, Casey Irwine; and the future GM of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Cam Wickline. To start the show, there was some news on the Pat McAfee show as quarterback Aaron Rodgers announced that he would like to play for the Jets, saying that it's inevitable and that the Packers are the one holding up the deal. So, guys, do you think Aaron Rodgers makes the Jets a Super Bowl contender? Zach, as a Vikings fan, the bad man is gone. What do you think?
I think people are kind of forgetting that Aaron Rodgers just was not good last year. He threw the most picks he's thrown since 2010, and he was just – Green Bay didn't even make the playoffs, and he didn't have the best weapons around him. But that defense was more than good enough to carry that team to the playoffs if Aaron Rodgers just performed at like an average level, but he didn't do great. He was he was ranked 20th in most major passing stats. He wasn't top 10 in a single one. He wasn't good last year.
Okay, here's the thing. You can't lose the NFC Championship if you can't play in it. And
yes, that was years ago. Okay, we're talking about right now. Okay, he's bad. He got off the drugs and he's bad.
No, he's on the drugs. He's going to Jersey. He's going to be even better, first off. Also, Tom Brady, year before he went to the Bucs, had his worst season in his career. Went to the Bucs, all-time passing season, won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks in NFL history, and he's going to have his most loaded team he has ever had on offense. He can absolutely compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, see, a few points to what you said. One, you said that he was bad. I'm going to take the guy who's been back-to-back MVPs and then had a bad year. That more feels like an off year, and then he's going to regress to the mean. I think he's going to be completely fine. And then, two, it has been a just toxic environment in Green Bay for the last couple of years.
Because of that guy.
Yeah, but it was not just him. I'm not going to – you can't say that he hasn't contributed. I will say that, yes, he has contributed, but other people have definitely contributed to it, too. Once he's out of there, I'd be shocked if he doesn't carry the Jets pretty far. I don't know about Super Bowl because he'd have to beat Patty Mahomes, but pretty far.
They're literally making the New York Packers right at this moment.
Yeah, exactly. He complained about the lack of weapons he had in
now he has Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. He has a great defense behind him.
Tyler Conklin. Exact weapons. It doesn't make any sense.
That was a lie. Did you even watch the Pat McAfee thing? That was a lie. That wasn't true at all.
Well, I think the Jets may be grounded for a while, but who knows? Heading over to the hardwood, junior forward Sol Castro has entered her name in the transfer portal after missing the entire year with an injury. Did this catch you by surprise? Cam, I know you can hoop. What do you think?
You know, I was really surprised that Sol Castro entered her name into the portal. I mean, she seemed like she was all in for the team this year. Every time, I know she was hurt, but every time there was a huddle, she was the one leading it. Yeah. And if she was hurt all year, literally, in my opinion, nothing showed signs that she was leaving. It almost just felt like she just dropped a bomb and left. Like, I was not expecting it at all. I really don't think anyone was.
No, on a Colonials team that was riddled with injuries throughout the entire year, Sol Castro still showed the most passion out of the team, even though she was also injured for the entire year. And I'm extremely shocked to see her go. And as a freshman, we're all freshmen, none of us got to see her play. That's really disappointing.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, in her freshman year, she won Player of the Year for the team. And the injury was unfortunate with her time in Argentina. And, I feel like she had still a lot to prove for this team. Mm-hmm. With so many injuries that they had, they still competed in a lot of games. And with her on the team next year, I feel like they could have really went somewhere. But now she's gone. I mean, I think she can impact a lot of other teams now. I guess she was really looking to be the main point. I think because so many other players rose up this year, I think she maybe wanted to be the main person somewhere else.
Yeah, I almost kind of got the vibe that, like, she was, with all the injuries this year, including her, she was like, okay, this is a bad year, but guys, just wait till I'm back. I'm the leader of your team. I'm the best player on this team. Wait till I'm back, and then I can lead you guys into the next season. And they're going to be a lot better next season. And then it just didn't happen. Like, I think they're going to miss her in all facets of the game.
It's disappointing. She was definitely a leader in that locker room. You could tell right off the bat.
Definitely someone the Colonials may miss is Sol Castro. But staying with women's basketball, let's be honest, South Carolina is above and beyond the best team in the women's side of March Madness. So do you think anybody can beat the Gamecocks, or will they run away to the finals? Casey, this question is a slam dunk. So what do you got?
I honestly think they're going to run away with it. They're undefeated. I mean, they've got a 30 points per game differential. I mean, they've scored 81. They've only allowed 51. I don't see how any other team can meet. They've just been so good all year. No other team have come even close. I mean, I would honestly say maybe UConn, just because what they used to have, and they're still a very good team, number 2 seed. But I really think South Carolina.
I was actually just gonna say this South Carolina team is kind of reminding me of the heyday of the UConn program back whenever it was UConn in the field. It was this is the best team in the country. Honestly, to everybody else, good luck. Like you said about them being about that huge scoring differential, they're 7th in the nation in scoring, 4th in the nation in points allowed. It's just it feels like they're elite on both ends of the court. I don't see anyone even coming close unless someone like Iowa's Caitlin Clark just decides to play out of her mind, but it would have to be a one-man wrecking crew, and I think this team might be a little too good for that.
I mean, you never know with single elimination tournaments, but I mean, you have to pick South Carolina. You don't win 32 games and lose none of them without being a good team. And they have probably the best player in the nation in Elia Boston on their team, who won Naismith Player of the Year last year. And she's still in contention to win it this year, even though her stats are not as good as last year. So that girl is special. You could put her up against LeBron, and she'd get some knocks in there. I don't see anyone beating this South Carolina team. And they had minus 165 odds to win it. To win March Madness. That's ridiculous.
I think that just kind of shows the quality of the team that they are.
I'm just saying, though, you said UConn, I said UConn. I like UConn, okay? they can still do it. Just if they reach the final.
I'm not saying
if they reach the final, I watch out.
Yeah, I mean any team. Could
no, I mean
this.
that's I mean it's called March Madness.
Catch them
for
on a
reason.
bad
Like,
night.
anything
RMU women's
can
team
happen.
can beat them.
Well, you might want to watch out for Iowa. They could pull off the massive upset. But Pitt was in a back-and-forth battle against Mississippi State last night, and they ended up winning. Do you think the Panthers can take down Iowa State on Friday? As a Pitt fan, should I book my tickets for the round of 32, or will Pitt's run come to a close? Casey, what do you think?
No. Honestly, just no. I mean, if you watched the game yesterday, they were just so disappointing. It was a competitive game of basketball because both teams played bad. It was just a bad competitive game of basketball. I mean, Pitt should have lost, and Iowa State is a much better defensive team than Mississippi State already was. And Mississippi State's already an incredible defensive team. So now that Pitt's going up against an even better defensive team, they might not get over 50 points.
You know, see, I agree with you, but here is where I think there's a little bit of an argument. You said that was a bad game by not a great team. They're not going to head out there with that same team. Hopefully, if Federico is healthy, I think it totally changes the game.
We don't know that though.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. That's where my answer's kind of 50-50. If he's not, I truly think Pitt is going to get curb stomped. Yeah. If he is healthy, watch out. This Pitt team went on a run earlier in the year. I'm not saying. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they could do it again.
Yeah, I think the only way this Pitt team has a chance is if Federico is healthy. But it's a game time decision. We don't know, so I don't know. And
I mean, no. Here's the thing though. You're both saying this one man, Federico, if he's healthy. If he wasn't healthy for this game, even if he comes back for this game in a couple of days, he's not going to be 100%. So
I truly don't know if he needs to be 100% though. It's more he's one of those players. It's more about the presence of him on the floor than anything. Obviously, this is a big stretch because I'm not saying him and LeBron are the same player. But if LeBron is just here, I'm more talking about the presence on the court and what he would mean to a team. Just if he's on the court, that presence means something to the other teams. You have to guard him because you don't know if he's 100%.
LeBron's been on the court for Lakers this season. He got injured. They're doing better.
he's got a point.
You do have a point. I don't know. You have a point.
I'm a little disappointed nobody brought up Nike Sabani, the ACC Sixth Man of the Year, who could be a real changing point for the Panthers. But the ball has been tipped for March Madness, and though it's still the first four, we do have to look ahead. Who do you think will be the last team standing for the Final Four? Zach, who do you think will be heading to Houston?
I got all Big 12 teams. All right, I don't know how popular this is. I got Texas going against Kansas, and I got Baylor going against Kansas State. I think it's going to be a Big 12 fiesta up in there. They're all top 15 teams in the NCAA rankings, and I mean Kansas. I think all of us put Kansas. We all just know Kansas State. Has fantastic guard play. And, I mean, the other teams just look fantastic. Texas has some of the most experience in the tournament, and Baylor has Flo Thamba, the big man down low. I mean, with a name like Flo Thamba, how can you be knocked out?
I mean, Honestly, I felt kind of boring with my picks because I had 3 of the 1 seeds. And I'll be honest, probably not going to happen. This is March. But if you I more went from the approach of the 4 best teams in the country and then just kind of tried to work my way through the bracket. I went with Bama's going to play Duke in one semifinal and Houston's going to play Kansas. I think Bama right now they're the consensus number 1, but honestly, I feel like with everything surrounding their program right now, they could be taken down, but I was looking through their part of the bracket. They easily have the worst part that they have to go through, so not by default, because it's still very difficult to make the Final Four, but I must put them in there by default, I guess. Duke is hotter than anyone. If Marcus Sasser can come back, watch out for Houston. That's a big if, though. And then Jalen Wilson's just an absolute pimp for Kansas. He's scary to play against.
Yeah, for me, I got Kansas for me, and then I got Arizona. They've played huge team this year, beat most of them. Arizona can definitely get there. And now, hear me out on these last 2. Texas A&M, who was underseeded, by the way. They beat Alabama, beat Tennessee, beat Auburn and Missouri twice, okay? 7 seed makes it there, and then number 8 seed Memphis makes it to the Final Four. They upset Purdue in the round of 32. I mean, they played big teams all year. They just came off beating number 1 seed Houston, who you're just talking all big about in their championship game. And Memphis are a dangerous team. I'm just telling you.
I'll be completely honest with you. I truly think Memphis does have a real shot, but in my bracket, I had them going out first round. I'm not going to lie. Penn State's playing real good ball right now. I think they got a real shot to upset them. 10-7, not a crazy upset, but like you said, A&M's underseeded a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if A&M goes out first round, but I really like that Memphis pick.
Okay.
I think he's been seeing John Moran in the news cycle a bit too much recently.
Based on that conversation, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the only one who's on perks. But as a wise man says literally all the time, this is March. With that, that being said, we all have some traditions for March Madness. So guys, what is yours? Cam, let me know what you do this time of year every year.
I mean, I love filling out the brackets with my friends. I know it sounds cliche, but like we just said, no one knows what's going to happen, so I like telling you that you're an idiot because you think A&M's going to the Final Four. When in reality, I have no clue. You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue. No one has a clue. That's the best part, is just saying almost whatever you want. And you're right until someone proves you wrong. And the best part is everybody has always been proven wrong because no one's ever made a perfect bracket.
True. I mean, I got to agree with you. Brackets are probably the best part. It's the part everyone knows about March Madness. And I just like the connections it establishes with, teams and players. Because, I still root for Frank Kaminsky in the NBA because of the 2015 Badgers run.
You know ball.
Yeah, you know ball. Frank the Tank.
You know ball, let me tell you. For me, though, according to Colby, might be taking perks. But not true, by the way. But yeah, brackets, obviously. But just especially the round of 64. Honestly, the round of 64 is and round of 32 as well, are just some of the most exciting times in all of sports. I mean, there's just so much excitement, buzzer beaters, upset. It has everything you want in sports, and there's 100 games happening at once. It's just so exciting, especially when it happens right around classes happening. So it's just absolutely perfect.
I was just talking to my roommate about this yesterday, about how next year when we have an apartment, we're going to have 2 TVs in the living room, both computers set up, maybe even a phone, so we can watch all the games, because the round of 64 and 32 is the most electric weekend in sports, bar none, not even close.
March is always the best time of the year, but when we come back, we'll be heading to Wall Street for some buying or selling. Stay right here on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
I can't wait to get back to field trips with my school.
Not having to think about putting on a mask.
I really can't wait to get back to life, really.
I miss all my friends. I miss taking pictures in school.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
COVID-19 vaccines are available, and they're the first step to safely getting back to things we miss most. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
It's time to make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines. The dangerous new Delta variant is more than twice as contagious as the original virus and can affect anyone. Right now, 9 out of 10 hospitalizations and deaths from COVID are among unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated might save your life, and there's now an option that's fully approved by the FDA. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. We're going to buy or sell now. So, the Crimson Tide are the #1 overall seed in the tournament. Do you think they will roll their way to the title, or do you think someone else will get them? Cam, are you buying this or are you selling?
You know, I'm going to have to sell that they're the best team in the nation right now. I know they're the consensus #1 overall, but that's also done by people that sit on their couch and eat donuts and watch the games. I truly believe it is. I truly believe it's Kansas. Yeah, it is me. Except, no, I really think it's Kansas. Jalen Wilson, like I just said, is an absolute stud. They were the champions last year. Again, anything can happen, but I think they might go back to back.
I'm just going to quote you from a few minutes ago. You said, I think everyone, you are everyone, has them as their #1 consensus team. And
I'm not everyone. I disagree with everyone.
You have just said.
I'm different.
So you are already just contradicting yourself. So thanks for agreeing with me, because I'm buying that they're the #1 consensus team. Talent-wise, I think they're #1 consensus team, but I don't have the win in the tournament. But Brandon Miller, he's just an incredible player. He's maybe one of the top picks in the draft. One of the best shooters in the nation. He's over 40% from 3. He's just all around an incredible player. Overall, probably best offense in the nation. They score over 80 points a game, as similar to South Carolina, which we talked about earlier. They beat another #1 seed, Houston. They're coming in as one of the hottest teams in the nation, and I think they're going to go far. Not going to win. They're going to go far.
Look, Bama's great, but let's be honest. It's a football school. Kansas is a basketball school through and through. Jalen Wilson is insane. They won last year. They might break the curse of getting eliminated early in the tournament and might be the first team to repeat in forever, a while. I don't know. But they have freshman guard Grady Dick, who's closing in on the program's 3-point record, and he's just an extra wrench to throw in there for defenses to figure out that they couldn't figure out last season. How are they going to figure it out this season with a 3-point ace like Grady Dick, Mr. Dick?
Not to mention Duke's playing really good ball too right now. Like I said, Houston's a really good team. I really don't think I have Bama up there at #1.
That's why, for talent-wise, that's why I have them up there. I think talent-wise, but overall, I think Kansas overall is still, based on experience and winning, I think they're going to win the tournament.
We apparently are very high on Kansas and Mr. Dick. Moving on, Selection Sunday is always one of the most scrutinized times of the year. Do you think the right teams made the field, or did some teams get snubbed? Casey, are you buying?
I think they really got it right, to be honest. But if I were to say one team, to be honest, if you asked me yesterday, I would have said Rutgers, but then they lost to Hofstra in the NIT as the #1 seed. But for North Carolina, I think they could have gotten a spot and tried to prove themselves. They were the #1 team coming in. They were in the championship last year, had 4 or 5 stars returning. They couldn't figure it out in the regular season, but they were still like a good team. And I think if you would just put them in the tournament, I think they could have competed a lot more than some other teams.
Here's what I think. I truly think the committee got it right. A lot of people were clamoring for Rutgers. They stink. They got bounced first round in the NIT. They did not deserve to be there if that was the performance they were going to put up. UNC is a bunch of frickin' babies. Okay? How are you going to deny the NIT, pretend you're too good for it? If you were too good for it, you would have been put in. How about you try not to lose like almost half of your games? Then you're in the tournament. But no, they think they were too high and mighty. They think they're too much of a blue blood. Well, blue bloods usually get put in the tournament, so they rejected the NIT. And it was just a bunch of crying, whiner babies. I hate it. I think it is so embarrassing for them. They think it's so cool. Oh, we're too good for the NIT. No, you're not. That's why you got invited. Take the NIT bid. If you were too good, go win it. Instead, they were scared of the competition, and it's just an embarrassment.
I think the committee did all right.
Sorry, I just really wanted to rant about that. I know I didn't really answer the question. I do think I think they got it right though. I don't think UNC deserved to be in it.
I didn't know you were so passionate about North Carolina. I'm sorry I offended you, but
yeah, I'm gonna sell that there were any snubs. I think Texas A&M was ranked probably a little too low.
That's why they're in the Final Four.
They were second in the SEC. They were one game behind Bama, and of course they lost the SEC championship to them. But I mean, to be seventh in their region, I just don't see it. I think they should be higher, at least a 5th seed, but probably closer to 4 or 3 if we're being honest.
They probably would have been bounced by North Carolina, to be honest.
No, they wouldn't, because UNC is scared of playing ball. You play. A season is to play basketball, not to pretend you're too good to play basketball. It's a joke. It's honestly
not in the tournament either.
Apparently UNC is a joke. Heading over to the ice, the Penguins are hanging on for dear life for a playoff spot, but they do have a chance to catch the Rangers for the 3rd spot in the Metro. Will they claim that spot, or will that flightless bird fall down the standings? Casey, are you buying?
Well, I'm buying because, okay, they might be 8 points behind, but the Pens, their next 2 games, they play against the Rangers. If they can win both of those games, the Penguins are still a very talented team. Tristan Jarry's back fully healthy in net. If they can beat the Rangers in regulation both games, I think they definitely can catch up to the Rangers. I mean, the Rangers, they're ahead of the Penguins, obviously, but they've still been disappointing all season, and I don't think trading for third-line scrub Patrick Kane is going to change that around. So I think the Penguins got a shot.
I really don't know if they do. Okay, they got 15 games left. 8 points feels like a big margin to make up, because I would understand if they were winning a lot of their games, because then you can make up 8 points, but they're still not exactly – they're playing better, but they're not exactly lighting the world on fire. I just don't know if they're going to make up 8 points in only 15 games. They might make up 4, maybe even 6. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get all the way there.
Yeah, I also got to sell. I mean, if they want any chance, they've got to win these games against the Rangers this weekend. But I just think Tristan Jarry is far too unreliable to go on any sort of meaningful run. They just don't have time. And I mean, every time you check on the Penguins and they have a decent win streak going, the game that loses the win streak is a game that Tristan Jarry was pulled out of because he let up 4 goals in an inning. It's ridiculous. The guy, they needed a new goalie and they just didn't get one. I don't get it.
I too hate when my goalie gives up 4 goals in an inning.
Yeah, it really sucks whenever 4 goals in an inning. That's just too many for one inning of hockey.
Sports, am I right?
I think we need to slow down the hate on my man Tristan Jarry. But back to the hard word for Mo Madness. The men's basketball team fell to Cleveland State after this heartbreaking loss in overtime. Do you think the Colonials can make a run to the semifinals in the Horizon League tournament and head to Indy next year, or will they be just short? Cam, are you buying Andy Toole and his team?
You know, I actually am going to buy that they can do this. I think they were a pretty good team this year. It took them a while to mesh, but once they did, they started playing some real good games against some real tough teams. They played Cleveland State really tough at their place, both in the regular season and in the postseason. Beat Youngstown State on their home floor. Beat Milwaukee on their home floor. This is a team that can beat the upper echelon teams in the Horizon League. It's just if their players stick around. I know they've already lost a couple transfers, but without being mean, they weren't exactly impact guys, if you know what I'm saying. So, if they can keep their main core around, especially Enoch Cheeks, then I think this can be a really good team next year.
Yeah, I think if Enoch Cheeks stays, that this team will, I'm also buying. I mean, Enoch Cheeks is great. I think Stephon Walker can really take that next big step with Khalil Spear leaving. I think Stephon Walker can be RMU's next big star. The guy is killer on the offensive rebounds. I was shocked to find out that he only rebounded 6 boards a game, which is a little, it's better than in college than it is the NBA, but still, it just seems far too low.
Felt like he came down with 15.
I know. I thought the exact same thing, but he was still, I think, 5th. He was top 5 in offensive boards in the Horizon League, and that's as a freshman. The guy is crazy. I mean, I just don't see how this team can really fall off if you got young talent like that, and you got 3-star TJ Wayne.
I was waiting for you to bring up TJ. You love TJ.
3J, PJ.
I mean, here's the thing. If they don't beat Youngstown State and Milwaukee at the end of the season, are we even entertaining this?
Yes, because
but they did. That's the thing. They're
Big-
losing Khalil Spear, losing Michael Green. That's why I'm selling. They're not getting there. They don't have the talent
If you look back
anymore.
at their games, they keep their games so close, but then they just fall out of it in the last couple minutes. If they can just keep it together for those losses, then this team can be a force in the Horizon League. There were so many home losses where they were tied with 5 minutes left, and then all of a sudden the other team was up 10. They clearly have the talent and ability to keep up with these teams. They just need to play for a full game.
Definitely going to be an interesting season here in Moon Township. But when we come back, the guys give their final takes right here on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Time for some final takes. Zach, what do you got?
I can't believe I've lived to see the day, but oh my God, there's parity in the NBA. With about 3 weeks left in the season, the Western Conference is as tight as it's ever been, and there's so many storylines throughout the top teams. Back-to-back MVP Nikola Jokic looks to get his third MVP in 3 years and lead his first-seed Nuggets to playoff success now that he has the help. The Grizzlies and the Kings trail, but not by much. And after that, it is a bloodbath, with only 3 games separating the number 4 seed and the 10 seed. That kind of cutthroat playoff action has not been seen in years and is undeniably good for the sport. And what makes it even more exciting is the nature of the playoffs due to teams being so close in talent. Teams like the Mavericks, Lakers, and Clippers are much better than their seeding suggests, and Karl Anthony Towns returning to the T-Wolves could lead to a deep playoff run for Minnesota. There may be uncertainty in who will come out of the first round in the West, but there's no question it will be a great watch, and I know I'll be watching.
Now, all around sports, referees can be a little questionable. Specifically, though, I'd like to talk about the NBA. An example recently would be Jordan Poole of the Warriors, who simply bounced the ball back to the ref after a call, and I guess the referee didn't like the way he put the spin on it and called a technical foul on him. Notice I'm saying the referee and not the man's name. This is because I don't know his name because there's no accountability. All throughout the league, the refs constantly change the game and make it about them, often making horrible calls and all this other questionable stuff. All I want is repercussion. I mean, would I be against public shaming? No, but that probably won't happen. There should be serious fines and public press conferences with refs to make them hold responsibility. And that should be for all sports, but maybe then we'll finally see some change.
Love him or hate him, Pat McAfee, along with Aaron Rodgers, is changing the way sports media is created and consumed. People are growing tired of the traditional sports content and the Skip Baylesses of the world falling by the wayside. Pat McAfee's mix of no BS and raunchy comedy and his inside look into the way professional sports operate has shot him to the top of the sports world. 5 years ago, an announcement as big as Rodgers would have been exclusively shown on ESPN. Look at the LeBron to Miami announcement. Now McAfee had 450,000 people watching his show for the breaking news. Sports media is changing before our eyes, and it might be time for ESPN to embrace this side of things.
Thank you so much for watching Sports Talk in the Burgh. For everybody downstairs and upstairs, I'm Colby Shorewin. We will see you next time.